Getting rid of depression, a radical spin down on the silent killer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's assume, for the purpose of this talk, let's assume you're a young man or a young woman of about 18 years or so, and you're interested in extracurricular activities, sports, music, videography, photography, dancing, and many more. Let's also assume you were born with a perfect health record and super healthy genes. You have no handicap that requires special medical attention. To you, you are living a perfect life. But suddenly, you find yourself starting to lose the pleasure you once had in these activities. You start losing the happiness and the joy these activities once gave you. Suddenly, you find yourself losing the pleasure of living to this silent killer, which is the hub of our discussion today. We may know Jack the Ripper, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, H.H. Holmes, Ted Bundy, and many others. These are some of the world's most dangerous serial killers. They have killed a lot of people. But let me surprise you. Depression each year kills over 180,000 people. Not just that. Depression also victimizes over 120 million youth. The youth, that's its target. It kills in utmost silence, which makes it quite uneasy for people to point fingers or push blames. It's also quite an experienced killer, which makes it almost impossible for even the best army in the world to arrest. I heard of a story of a young man who borrowed so many loans, and this plunged him deep into debt. And due to the inability to pay off these debts on time, it plunged him into depression. And he drank Sniper, a famous Nigerian insecticide, and died. Also, the story of a young female banker, a Nigerian female banker, who could not cope with the economic situation of the nation. Due to this, she also became depressed and died, committed suicide and died. These are but a few of the many deaths that occur around the world because of this dangerous killer called depression. Did you know that depression can also affect your health? It's been medically proven that negative feelings such as sadness, anger, anxiety, as well as depression release hormones called psychosomatic hormones. Psychosomatic meaning relating to the physical and mental activities of the body. These hormones go into different parts of the body system and either aggravate or cause terminal diseases such as cancer, asthma, high blood pressure, and many others. Depression can arise as a result of psychological, biological, or social factors, some of which are loss of a job, loss of loved ones, broken family foundations, broken relationships, and many more. This jolly soul you're seeing right in front of you was once a victim of depression. When I moved away from my hometown where I had been raised for 14 years, moved to a completely different society, far away from my hometown, I saw new things, I went to new places, I saw new people, and it was very uneasy for me to adjust. Even when I came to my new school, I found people behaving differently from the way I thought people should behave. Now you may be wondering, how did I get out of this? How am I who I am today? Well, I was going through a school's magazine one day, and I came across a quote, which says, "Your heart may have been broken 1,000,000 times, but broken crayons still color." This light and insight sank deep into me, and I thought about it and I said, no matter how broken I was still useful. A person with depression can be compared with a person who is a drug addict. We all know how drug addicts behave, very abnormal. Let's imagine someone with a bipolar disorder. This moment he's happy and gisting with someone, happy, laughing, cracking jokes. The next moment he turns around and is shouting at another person, angry, in split seconds. As a Nigerian, the first thing that will cross my mind is, this guy must be on colos. On colos meaning not in the right state of mind. But then, we can't blame them. It is a mental mood disorder. So we can't literally say it's their fault. Depression is not a permanent situation. It can be completely erased from someone's life. I'm about to give you 3 tried and trusted steps to removing depression from your life. I call it the triple E effect of hope. Number 1 is enumerate. In this stage, you sit down and evaluate your life. Pick out the roots of this negative feeling that seems to be a permanent situation in your life. Select them and list them out so you know what is the cause of this mood disorder. Number 2, eradicate. This entails removing completely these factors you have successfully outlined in your life. Completely erasing them from the roots. Number 3 is evaluate. You won't just remove them and sit there doing nothing. After removing these factors, you consider taking steps to a higher life and a brighter future which you have put in your mindset. After all, seeing is believing and believing is receiving. Once you're able to apply these 3 simple steps, I can assure you that depression will be a long forgotten memory of yours. Now, let's dive into the power of hope in this situation. I can imagine the world of a depressed person. He or she may feel like they're trapped in a room where there's no way out. Darkness surrounds them all around, and all they feel is pain, agony. But suddenly, hope comes in. That ray of light turns to a beam of light, and the next moment, light fills the whole room. This is what I call the Tyndall effect of hope. Tyndall effect in physics can be defined as the ability of light to pass through a medium and spread into different corners of a room. Hope is a very powerful factor in completely erasing depression from one's life. I will align this with a very interesting story of 4 candles burning in a room, and one could hear them speak. That is quite hilarious because we all know candles can't talk. These candles were peace, joy, happiness, and hope. Peace began to complain and complain because there was nothing to keep it lit, and soon it died down. So did joy and happiness. But hope remained silent. Suddenly, a boy ran into the room, crying and weeping at their demise, because he needed these candles to keep his life in shape. Then he saw hope. Hope was the last one standing. He used hope to light back other candles that had gone dim. This is what I refer to as the Tyndall effect of hope. Hope has the power to light back every other weak factor that must have diminished in your life. Another thing to erasing depression from your life is positive affirmations. Now, depressed people are known for having negative thoughts, speaking negatively, acting negatively, always in the negative. But once you're able to overcome this roadblock and start to positively affirm yourself, each day you can wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and say, why aren't you the most beautiful girl I have ever seen? Or if you're a male, why aren't you the most handsome male I have ever seen? Affirm yourself because you were created in the uniqueness of the Almighty Himself, and nothing on this earth, under the earth, can change that. Be yourself and let no factor of life change that. Let's spread happiness in the society. Once you're out of depression and you've finally reached the successful life you've always been dreaming to reach, that goal you've always wanted to achieve, once you have finally achieved it, you would look back and it would seem hilarious how you were so sad over something you could have just waved off out of your life. Let's remove this atmosphere that depression has created. Together, we can silence this silent killer. Because happiness is a medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. Thank you.